Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Z. Today's video will be covering the Object 283, which will be not a Holiday Ops box tank. However, it is part of the Holiday Ops event. And today I'll just quickly go over my thoughts on what it's like to play and is it worth it. Let's get into it. So, tanks.gg, real quick. Ammo, 226 pen, 360 alpha, 950 meters per second shell velocity. Standard round, pretty good. The heat is the premium, 300 pen, 360 alpha. It is slightly slower though, 850 meters per second shell velocity. You will most likely want to load some AP so you can snipe better, unless you're very good at lobbing shells. Equipment loadout, I went for completely standard, full bounty, vents, rammer, V-stab. For field mods, I went for the one on the right for number 4, so improving the accuracy. I also went up for the left on the 5th one, which is adding to the reverse speed. This thing's camo is already terrible, so it doesn't really matter. And then for the 7th one, I did reduce the hit points so that I can actually aim in faster. Real quick, I can get it over to 3000 DPM with my loadout. About a 7-second reload time for 360 alpha, which is pretty good. Good aim time of around 2 seconds, 0.32 accuracy. None of it is special, but it's all decent. Top speed of 50, and then with the field mods, your reverse speed is 20, which is a very standard Russian medium tank kind of speed. Your power to weight isn't fantastic at 18, but it is pretty good. You will get to your top speed in most scenarios. Your armor is decent, but it's not all that special. I will show in a few seconds as to why. Your view range with this loadout, if you're not running optics, you will barely get it over 445, but this thing is a brawling medium tank, and I will show you why. And then 6 degrees of gun depression all the way around. Standard crew for a Russian medium tank. So quickly going over the armor, it looked very good. However, the hull armor, it is very good at certain points, but it does go from 190 down to like 120, 110. Straight on, it is quite an easy pen. You can see that it's rounded, and so just shoot kind of the center of it, not too high, and you will be able to pen even with standard rounds for tier 8s. Even if it's angled, just aim for the nearest point. This thing can side scrape to a certain extent. It is a rear mounted turret, so if you can line it up well, you want to set up right around here, and you will be able to get bounces. There is a slight weak spot of a bar on top that is 250 millimeters of pen, which, okay, it's not really that big of a weak spot, but it is pennable. And then the turret cheeks also, if you are firing heat, you can go through it. It is a very weird tank layout. The turret is not fully rear mounted, but it is definitely heavily rear biased. So the gameplay with the 6 degrees of gun depression, it's just going to be hard to play. Anyways, let's get into the battle real quick. Here we are, Karelia Assault Defense. As we can tell, I am going 50. This thing does get a good move on. As to if this thing is worth it, I will start even this early saying if you need to spend lots of money or lots of time on it, no. If you can get it easily, then yes, it's a tier 9 tank, but it is not a premium. You will not make extra credits. You will be able to put other crews into it, kind of like, trying to think of a good example. I guess a good example would actually be the T55A, where that doesn't make credits, but you can put a crew into it. So there we can see bad shell velocity and bad aiming lead to not a penning shot. However, you do have the accuracy to hit cupolas. Now, this is kind of the best way to play this, is kind of side scraping, brawling. You can snipe in it, but you do have slow shell velocity, and your pen isn't the greatest, especially your AP pen at 226. It is actually less than the Iron Arnie, the tier 8 American medium that is available in the boxes. As we can tell, standard brawling gameplay, but that's really all this thing is okay at. You can snipe, like I said, 360 alpha. You can trade with some tanks, other tanks you do not want to go close to trading with because you will lose every time. And like I said, this thing is not entirely worth it. This was definitely one of my better games. Well, it's actually my best game, and it's still not great. I was unable to do consistently well in it, mainly just because of just the weird profile of it. Like that rear-mounted turret, kind of rounded hull and turret, so it's hard to angle it properly. If you do get to pick it up, I highly recommend loading it up in a way that you can play it in a brawling way, just because that is how you're going to do pretty well. You can snipe, like I said, but your pen is on the lower side for sniping, especially with the current meta. And yeah, this thing, it's just really hard to put your finger on as to what kind of place and role it actually has. It is not something that is very good on ridgelines. 6 degrees of gun depression, rear turret, so you're not going to be able to play those ridgeline maps, which there's plenty of, you know, Steppes, Sand River. You can try to snipe on those, but I mean, it's definitely an option. Overall, just to summarize it once again, I don't think this is worth picking up unless it's not much effort for you. Otherwise, don't strain over it. It is very mediocre, even arguably not all that good. So if you don't have the energy, time, money to pick it up, it's not like you're missing out on a broken, overpowered tier 9 tank. That is not the case for this tank. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Hope you guys have a great holiday ops and holiday season. And feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys around.